Duplessis Karifi and Ari Savia, my men of the match for the All Blacks, with some game-changing turnovers and big plays from big players in this game. Before we get into it, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the game, who played well, who didn't, who was your man of the match, what did you think of the series as a whole, what positives for the All Blacks, what positives for the French, and what work-ons needed for the All Blacks going into the Rugby Championship. They take on the Springboks. All roads lead to Springboks versus All Blacks. What do they need to improve on? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So first to start, All Blacks win 3 from 3. They clean sweep the series. Yes, there's all the talk around France's B team or C team, whatever. France came out to play in this game. While I'm saying that, yes, it wasn't All Blacks' first team. There was a lot of changes made. A lot of changes happened right before kickoff or during the week before. Rico Ioane getting injured, then Luke Jacobson getting injured pretty much right before kickoff. So a bit of disruption in that regard. But for the All Blacks to weather that storm of the French in that first half and then keep France scoreless in the second half, outstanding. Definitely not their most clinical performance, but with regards to that, what I've just said, how they can absorb the pressure there and then kind of turn that around onto the French in that second half and keep them scoreless. All Blacks were behind at halftime, 19-17, and then they end up winning the game 29-19. So that's a massive tick, whatever that is, if it's second efforts, if it's just grit, determination, that willingness not to give up or to get up and go again. Stuff like that you can't necessarily always coach. And that's a sign of a very strong squad and a quality squad throughout the depth, all the changes, throughout the disruptions, throughout all of that. For them to get up and perform how they did in that second half, or just to hold French out in that second half. I wouldn't say they performed really well, but to keep them scoreless, outstanding. Well done to the All Blacks there. It was a game of, especially in the first half of the first half, a game of missed opportunity or giving away penalties, turning ball over, fumbling the ball, so handling errors, balls getting turned over at ruck, giving away penalties, offsides. Just a lot of that. A lot of this team hasn't played a lot together, or some of these combinations haven't played a lot together. And that's exactly what it was, because there was a ton of changes to the squad. That's definitely how they played. That's how they played in that first half. And then when they had a few more minutes together and some changes were made in that second half, and also France's intensity and the storm that they came out with, that kind of tapered off. So definitely a game of two halves from the All Blacks, but also need to be a lot more clinical, a lot sooner in the game, if that makes sense. And it's funny how it's gone from last week, their first half was really good, and then this week, the first half was poor. Or not poor, but compared to last week's first half, not the best. Some decisions early on where to play or how to play where, like your exits from kickoff receipts firstly were terrible. That's probably credit to Villiers from France, who was coming through and contesting a lot of those kicks. But even when they did take the kicks in from kickoffs, deciding to chip kick it or to just their decisions around exiting, probably not the best. But I did love how they then, when they did get small opportunities, or they have players that just can turn something from nothing. That eyes up footy from Ratima for Will Jordan's try. Box kick to perfection in open land. No, there was no French players anywhere to be seen there. And Will Jordan collects that. So that was really good off the back of France having all the ball, France having all the momentum, and then that little swing of play there, that was outstanding from Ratima. I did think they might have kicked the ball a bit too much in that first half, because France, for me, were winning that kicking battle. Hastoy and Garrick and Barre at fullback, really good in getting the ball or positioning, so getting those kicks and then kicking it back. Their kicks were long and finding touch or finding grass. So I thought All Blacks could have held onto the ball a lot more in that first half and back yourselves. Play with the ball. You've got outstanding players in Will Jordan, Sevu Reece, D-Mac, Ruben Love. Like, play with the ball a bit more. And while all the momentum, especially in that first half, all the possession, all the territory, pretty much everything was in France's favour, you got to give it to the All Blacks. That Anton Lienert-Brown try just before halftime, that set them up for that second half. That set them up going into halftime. They don't score that. It's then 19-10. You're 2 tries off going into the second half, but they score that one. They convert. So it's 19-17. You're a kick or a try away from taking the lead. So that changes your whole outlook, the whole chat at halftime. It changes everything. It changes everyone's perception. It changes everyone's mood as well, especially going into that halftime. And then that showed going into the second half because they came out, and I wouldn't say they come out firing or they come out and were extremely clinical, but they kept France scoreless and they put another 12 points on them in that second half. So that Anton Lienert-Brown try just before halftime was what won them this game for me. Again, in the second half, I thought the kickoff receipts again were terrible. Lineouts were shocking. Timing at lineout time was just seemed off. So Brodie McAllister came on and there was a few he threw over or he didn't hit his target or they got the ball turned over at lineout time. Something there that needs to click. Scrums clicked really well. Fletcher Newell, when he came on, George Bower, and obviously Brodie McAllister, outstanding at scrum time. So a big tick there, but lineouts is something that, because of last week, how good the lineouts were, it then tapered off kind of in the back end of the game, but then this week to see how badly the lineouts went, especially in that second half, it's definitely something they'll want to work on. And those 2 big plays for me from your big players. Yes, Ardie Savea, one of the best players in World Rugby, so you kind of expected from him. But the turnovers from Du Plessis-Kirifi in those moments where the game is in the balance, the momentum is kind of in the balance, and you get big plays like that from the fetchers, from those guys that can get in there and make those turnovers. Outstanding. Kirifi had one, then Ardie Savea. I think Ardie Savea had 2. His big one was on the 61 or 60th minute mark, right on the line. France were hammering All Blacks line, and who's there? Who makes a turnover? Ardie Savea. He was fantastic again. He's a different breed. That is a different breed. Kirifi was immense, got the try, scored a try on his debut start for the All Blacks. Yes, he's come off the bench before, but this was his debut start. He was immense. Energizer Bunny, like we know he can do, like he's been doing for years at Hurricanes. Now he's doing it at international level. And just outstanding. He was my man of the match in this game. He was unreal. Both sides of the ball, making a ton of carries, making a ton of turnovers, a ton of tackles, just everywhere around the park, and a proper 80 minutes from big Du Plessis-Kirifi there. I thought Hotham, when he came on, he was really good as well. Little box kicks in behind, just that extra energy. And then Jordie Barrett was fantastic when he came on. All that talk around him and all of that, he's outstanding. I called it early on before the international season. He was going to be a changed man coming back from Leinster, and he's been fantastic. Just that lovely little late show and go at the line, the handoff through, drawn past Brodie McAllister, or slides over from 5 meters. Fantastic, lovely little touch there from Jordie Barrett. He made a good few runs over that vantage line, just straightened up the line. I wouldn't say Kuntupai did that really well as well, but Jordie Barrett just brought that extra bit of energy there, that extra bit of oomph down the middle. 4 held up tries as well. It's more credit to France there, because their defense was ruthless at times and just relentless, just kept going. But credit to the All Blacks for like I said, absorbing that pressure in the first half and then turning it on in the second half. Antonina Brown's try just before halftime being the catalyst for me. Jumping over to France quickly, man, come out firing. Yeah, you have to give them credit because all 3 games, they were in it, or they at least put their hands up. They physical, strong with ball in hand, strong defensively, and just kept up and kept going. They were relentless in that regard. Yes, All Blacks win it 3-0, so a clean sweep. But this being a French B-side, good. What did not expect it, but they were good. I thought Le Garrigue and Hastoy were really good in this game. Le Garrigue, his direction around the park, his execution of his passing, the tempo, which with he dictates the game, really good. And then Hastoy was good. A lovely few touches. His kickoffs were outstanding with Villiers chasing them and putting All Blacks under a ton of pressure in that regard. He had the drop kick, which was nice as well, and lovely little kicks out of hand, which is fantastic. They were capitalizing, especially in that first half, really capitalizing off all the opportunities they got, took the 3 points when they could, scored the tries when they did, and really good in that regard. Just physical, really, really physical. They just couldn't keep it up for the full 80 minutes because All Blacks come out in that second half and were just a class above, held onto the ball a lot more. And France just, like, when you're playing at that high revs, your revs on your car are at that high, it can't go for that long. It has to come down sometime. And when it came down, the All Blacks capitalized. All in all, I thought Gillard was good as well, defended really well. And they kind of missed him, I feel like, in that second game. But he did well in this game. All in all, a physical battle across all 3 tests. The 3-0 to be expected, or the clean sweep to be expected by the All Blacks because of the squad that was brought over by France. But still, I think I won't say credit to France, but credit to the depth within the France rugby system because, man, to go over to New Zealand with a lot of inexperienced players, a lot of guys making their debuts for the national side, to go over there and to put it to New Zealand, yes, didn't come away with the result, but definitely stuck it to them. And it was 3 tests that I really enjoyed and it was brutal and physical. And in a lot of it, France were in the games, for sure. But not to be All Blacks too strong, 3 from 3. What did you guys think of that? Who was your man of the match? Who was your man of the series? I'm going to go Fabian Holland. Outstanding again. Probably not as dominant in this 3rd test as he was in the first 2, but still outstanding. Played full 80 minutes of all 3 tests. For his first 3 games of international rugby, tick, a big tick. Someone that the All Blacks can build their forward pack on going forward for the next decade, for sure. Outstanding. Fabian Holland, my player of the series. What did you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.